morning, everybody. Welcome to the double shot edition of the Morning Brew with me and Merlin.
Hi, I'm a Merlin.
So, yesterday, I did start a little bit early because the playlist, I still got to play around with that VLC player because it didn't play all the music I wanted it to play, but hey, you know. Wednesdays are going to be Rock and Roll Wednesdays, so if you guys find any public domain or Creative Commons licensed rock and roll music, you know, I kind of like rockabilly, traditional rock and roll, and some metal. So if you guys want to see that, yep, you guys can, DM me with suggestions that we can play before we open the show. And I will be more than happy to do that, but they do have to be either public domain or Creative Commons music, so I don't get copyright claims or possible copyright strikes. So there is that. Tomorrow is going to be Motown, because I like to rotate the music selections. But Friday's always going to be salsa, so, yeah, because Fridays are party days.
Yay.
Yeah, yesterday, if you follow me on Twitter or you hang out, oh, wait a minute, that's right, we got to say our good mornings. Let's see, who are we saying good morning or good evening to? We have a good evening or a good afternoon to Mariel Bell, a good morning to Dade, a good afternoon to Jay Willie, a good morning to a Penina Chan, and I saw Goddess Bree, so good morning to Goddess Bree, a morning to Mitch, because telling him to have a good morning is not something we do. We just say morning and let him draw his own conclusions. And a good afternoon to Sir Adamantine, I think, or a good morning. Don't quite remember what part of the day. I would play the Ramones, but I'll probably get copyright struck. So that's probably not going to happen. Even though I don't mind the Ramones. I kind of like their music. It's kind of neat. Let's see here. So yesterday, if you guys hang out in my Discord or follow me on Twitter, I had jury duty yesterday. So I had to go to the Fulton County Courthouse and sit around in a room for a while till they called me into a courtroom. And in so doing, our particular courthouse plays on nice little pretty flat screens HGTV. The show that they always do the remodelings and all this stuff. So one renovation show proved to me, or at least taught me, yeah, boo, jury duty, that if there's one married couple that is going to find a hard time finding a house in order to renovate, it's going to be a couple where both parties are realtors. Because both of them have different styles of, house that they were looking for, and then location, the 3 rules of realty. And then when they finally found a house and they designated the bonus room for the man cave, the wife wanted to tell him what kind of flooring to put in the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, it's the man cave, which means he's the one that needs to be making all the decisions, and you need to butt your ass out of it.
Amen.
Man cave. You don't qualify. At least that's my philosophy. And most people...
Because like in my household, my wife owns every room in the house, and she gives me one room that is my own that she won't cross the border. I should be thankful.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that. I mean, if you guys have a house that's big enough to have a man cave, then, leave him alone and let him do whatever he wants in his space. That's his space.
Just like Dade said.
Yeah.
Nicely put.
Yep. Man cave equals F off, lady. You get the rest of the house. Exactly. Of course, I think when we finally get a house, the house that Ronan and I will have is probably going to be an amalgam of both of our tastes, seeing how I'm more of a tomboy and think more like a guy than a girl. So it's not going to be frilly.
That's good.
And...
That's positive right there.
Well, it's like, I like things simple. And simple doesn't mean a kitchen full of, little things that are pigs and cows and flowers and chickens and bull crap. Like it's a kitchen.
I'm rolling my eyes right now because guess what's in my kitchen?
You got the country kitchen motif going on.
Oh yeah. That Hello Kitty throughout the rest of the living room and the bedroom.
Oh,
it's not pretty.
Oh, the pink.
It's not pretty.
I feel sorry for you. Oh, the pink.
Thank you.
So the jury duty, me and 47 other jurors got called into a courtroom yesterday. The indictment for the defendant was aggravated assault and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He was being accused of shooting someone in the gut. So that was, what we were going to be questioned for. Now, they did general questions. And one of the general questions was, because the judge had a sense of humor. She goes, okay, do any of you in the jury pool watch CSI, Law and Order, any of those NCIS or SI shows or anything like that? And when the majority of the jury pool raised their hand, she followed that up with, you guys know that's fiction, right? That's not how that happens in real life. And all of us nodded in acquisition. And she first started, before she questioned us, she goes, there are going to be general questions. If it pertains to you, raise your card, because we all got a number. Okay? No, we didn't get dismissed because most of us raised our cards for that. But
what was your number?
Mine was 46 out of 48. So I was at the back of the line.
That's kind of good,
yeah,
in a way.
In a way, yeah. And so she said that I'm going to ask you about hardships. And no, jury duty being inconvenient is not a hardship. I'm going to make that right. I'm going to make that stipulation now. That doesn't count as a hardship, So after the general questions were done and over with, we got sent outside. 40. Yeah, it was 40. Me and 47 others is what I said, Dave. We got sent outside for 15 minutes so the attorneys could talk to the judge and figure out how they were going to individually question us when they brought us back in. During the 15 minutes, the defendant, good morning, Miss T, the defendant walked by all of us holding his daughter. So started the remarks of, oh, look, he's a father. Isn't his daughter just the most cutest thing ever? Isn't she beautiful? Oh, my God, they make a cute little duo right there. Isn't she absolutely adorable? And I'm like, okay, this is kind of stinky here because...
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit. So we get called in for the individual questioning. There are 14 before us. And then the judge, before they get to me, because they rotate him in and out of the jury box to ask him the individual questions. And before they got to us, the judge called for all of us to leave the courtroom briefly, called us in after 5 minutes, and dismissed the entire jury pool as being tainted because since we had all seen him with his daughter, most of us were looking at him as a father and not as the defendant.
Yes.
And
I would be doing flips.
Right. And I couldn't help but think that the defense staged that in some way.
Of course they did.
To do
it was
that
all staged.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was because the skeptical part of me went, okay, this is, the daughter is pretty, but this is still a defendant. This is the way my mind works. Still a defendant. It's not going to change the way I see things or the way I'm going to look at the evidence and stuff. So, but it didn't matter because she dismissed all 48 of us, and now they are going through the whole rigmarole this morning of going through more jurors, and I am not included.
Thank you, defense, for making that stupid move.
Right? Because, I mean, those of us with half a brain can figure out, by putting the math together, that it was either staged by the defense or the defendant took it upon himself to do that on purpose. One of them.
It was the lawyer. The lawyer whispered in his ear.
Yeah. You have to get sympathy. People are looking at you as a defendant. They don't know you. We've got to do something about that. Because the whole time we saw this woman with this kid, and I didn't equate it. Until he walked through all of us holding his daughter, and then it was the, okay, I see what's going on.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I see what's going on here. So we were, all 48 of us were thrown out, and since the agreement or the stipulation of the summons was one trial or 1 day, that was my 1 day. So no more jury duty for me, so I don't have to tweet out that, there will be no morning brew. So we will have morning brew.
Woohoo!
Yep. And Merlin, last week you went to a couple of doctors' checkups. How did those go?
Oh yeah, I found out I have nothing in my brain. Except for what brain cell? His name is Steve. No, my MRI actually came out clean. So anybody who was praying for me or thinking of me, thank you. It's clean. Now I gotta see another doctor next month to find out why something else is going on. But so far I'm good. Knock on wood.
That's good. That's good.
My brain is empty, and I'm proud.
Okay, now we're going to go into...
Steve says hello to you too, Dave.
The first...
Steve likes you now.
Socially awkward Steve?
Yes, he's in my brain, Mitch.
The first tweet of the morning is a picture of the Hercules C-130 gunship.
That looks pretty.
It is, isn't it? This is, all these Twitter links, as always, are linked below. This is a video of what happens when good old Puff the Magic Dragon fires all of his guns. I tried to get a really good still picture, but every time you pause it, you have that little play button in the middle. But my dad lovingly called Hercules, because he is a Vietnam veteran, Puff the Magic Dragon, and he often said, when Puff blew by, you got the hell out of Dodge. Yeah, which was, his words, because he said you knew that if Puff was making a pass, you didn't want to be anywhere in the area. Because it cleared out entire swaths of things.
Oh, yeah. That would definitely.
Mm-hmm. Next one is out of Operation Inherent Resolve. That is the operation name for defeating ISIS. Students from SDF attend basic counter-improvised explosive device course. Trainees sweep through dirt, exposing fake IEDs, and learn to dismantle/reduce threats.
That's good.
The training enhances partner capacity, focusing on improving security capabilities. And
that's one thing. I was going to say, that's one thing they have out there is landmines.
Oh, yeah. But to me, look, morning Neilk, who names these operations. I have no clue.
There's actually one man that sits in an office, and he has to come up with names. That's his only job.
Morning, Yep, morning, straight Sith male. See, my whole thing is, I know there's a certain way you have to sweep for these things, but I don't think digging in the dirt the way they're doing it is very safe.
Well, that's why you use expendable people.
Oh. Okay, next one.
Yeah, let's just move on.
Yeah. NASA, tomorrow afternoon at 5:02, there's a launch window to launch their new, improved, more advanced weather satellite.
Okay.
And this morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, they're having a video if you want to learn more about the weather satellite before it launches into space.
Can I guess? It takes pictures of weather.
And if you have questions, all you got to do is hashtag AskGOES. And they will see how many questions. So I guess it's an AMA as well, so you guys can learn a little bit more about the weather satellite, when it's going to launch, and stuff like that. Good morning,
Hey, Green Badger.
Yeah. Mitch, operation, this will likely end badly.
I mean, NASA seems pretty hard up that they want people to talk to them.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a while since they've done anything and actually announced that they were doing something.
Well, they did the climate change, said that climate change is going to destroy us all.
Yeah, most of us likely went, okay, eventually, probably after we're all dead, but,
Now that's a pretty picture.
Yes, this is from the U.S. Department of the Interior. El Capitan rises from the plains of West Texas. Picture by Michael Hardridge.
Nice.
So that is the pretty picture of the day, and when I have all these, every time I find one in my government feed, I will tout it out, because I don't know where they find these pictures, but a lot of these pictures are very breathtaking.
A lot of patience.
Mm-hmm. Also,
actually, I'll give you a little secret. Usually an hour before and an hour after sunrise is the best time to take pictures, because it's known as the golden hour.
Ah, okay. Got it. There is a bonus tweet that we're not going to be highlighting because it isn't a government tweet, but it is a tweet that most of you might be interested in. Gab.ai tweeted out a screen cap from one of the poll, as we like to call them, 4chan sites, about Google saying that they are looking at people who often frequent 4chan sites and are conservative and stuff in order to curve their...
of course.
Yeah, to try and further, curtail anything that they consider wrong speak. So take a look at the tweet, right click and open that picture in a different window because it was an interesting read. And also make sure that in your chat window on YouTube, make sure you have it on live chat and not top chat, so you can get all of the chats in the window.
Miss T, it depends. It just depends. I'll just leave it at that.
Golden showers. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've gotten through the tweets, the morning hellos, and good morning, so we know what time it is.
It's morning? Oh, man.
Yeah, I
okay.
know, right? All right, let's roll this news intro. Okay, now for the weather out of the National Weather Service. And yes, I have to say it that way so they don't say, "Oh my God, they're using our material, morning fuckwad," without giving us credit. Like I can come up with a weather report out of my ass or something.
Right, you could try, but it usually doesn't come out well.
No, it doesn't. This is the weather for February 28th, 2018 to Friday, March 2nd, 2018. There is a slight risk of severe thunderstorm over parts of the lower Mississippi Valley. Extremely heavy snow possible for the Sierras. Heavy snow possible for the southern Cascades, Shastas / Trinity Mountains, parts of the northern Rockies, and northern New England. Ugh, that's bad for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're already warning us that there's a big storm coming. We're going to start getting winds on Thursday. By Friday, the rain moves in, and it's a slow mover, so it'll be with us for a while.
There's heavy rain possible over parts of lower Mississippi / Tennessee valleys into the southern Appalachians. A front extending from the upper Great Lakes to the southern plains will move eastward to the eastern seaboard by Thursday evening. Great. Showers and thunderstorms will develop along and ahead of the boundary from the western Ohio Valley to the southern plains / western Gulf Coast. That will move eastward across the Tennessee Valley into the southeast coast by Thursday evening. Yay!
Yay! Fun.
I'm gonna go look for Noah. Fuck. The rain may be heavy at times with these storms. Rain will also develop over parts of Ohio Valley into parts of the southern Appalachians that will expand into parts of the southern Mid-Atlantic and Northeast by Wednesday evening. The rain also...
I have to tell you.
What?
I have to tell you, Noah is a Russian bot. Sorry.
The rain will end over parts of the northeast / lower Great Lakes by Thursday morning before starting again Thursday evening. In addition, snow will develop over parts of northern New England by Wednesday evening, continuing through Mississippi Valley, upper Great Lakes, overnight Wednesday that will expand into parts of western Ohio Valley by Thursday evening. Meanwhile, strong upper-level energy will aid in producing snow and lower elevation rain over parts of the southwest into parts of the central southern Rockies by Wednesday morning. The snow will move out of the southwest by Wednesday evening while expanding over the central southern Rockies before ending overnight Wednesday. In the meantime, onshore flow. Yeah, my tongue is rebelling. Ahead of the next Pacific system will aid in producing rain and higher elevation snow over parts of the Pacific Northwest and snow over parts of the northern Rockies through Wednesday evening. Overnight Wednesday into Thursday evening, upper-level energy associated with the next system moving onshore over the Pacific Northwest, Northern California will produce lower elevation rain and snow over the Pacific Northwest and Northern California into the northern Rockies. On early Thursday morning into Thursday evening, the snow and lower elevations rain will expand into Central California and the Great Basin. The snow over Central California will be very heavy at times. And here is the pretty picture telling you where all that shit is going to be.
Cool.
Once again, all your turquoise is rain and snow mix. All your white is the pretty snow. All the green is rain, and as you can see in different places. Yellow is thunderstorm warnings. We don't have any yellow over here. All the brown are rain and thunderstorms, so the thunderstorms aren't here yet, but they probably will be. Good afternoon, Batman. How are you doing today?
Hey, Batman.
And here is a temperature forecast for today. And they're lying because it's cold this morning. in Georgia, it is chilly this morning. And it
chilly for you, but not chilly for some.
It's chilly. Yeah, that's true. Because it might be high in the 70s this afternoon, but it sure the hell isn't the 70-degree mark right now. So, and as you can see, it gets colder as you move to the northwest to where you need coats, and then there's a few dark blue spots and purple spots that I like to nickname "Fuck you, I'm staying home."
I love that nice shade over New England. That is a beautiful color.
It is, isn't it? If it would only stay that way.
Oh, no kidding. Maybe I could make my own weather chamber.
Yep, Mariel and Batman are experiencing snow over in the UK across the pond.
And Mitch has pizza.
And he has pizza, and I'm going to have cheese grits after the show.
Ooh, why you tease me all the time?
Sorry,
damn it, woman.
I don't think there's a way to overnight cheese grits, though.
Well, we gotta find a way.
Yeah, I'm going to have to send you care packages.
We'll get a coyote.
All right, here we go. And now we have the news. And we're going to bring this up. I'll read the first one. You can read the second one. And no, I hope there aren't any funky names in here this morning, even though we...
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay, so we're going to scroll all the way up. Supreme Court refuses to hear about DACA. You hear that correct, people. The Supreme Court on Monday refused to hear Trump's administration's challenge to a lower court ruling temporarily blocking it from ending the Obama-era Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. The decision was a blow to the Trump administration that argues that DACA is unconstitutional. The Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals will now continue to review this case. This decision comes before a March 5th deadline set by President Trump in hopes that the Congress would have enacted legislation to replace Obama's executive legislation. Enacted legislation to replace Obama's executive action. The Supreme Court denied the government's request to hear the case without prejudice. However, this case still may be heard when the Ninth Circuit gives its decision about DACA. The justices gave no reason to why they refused to hear this matter in exchange for language allowing DACA recipients and other dreamers to remain in the United States to get a path to citizenship. President Trump has demanded money for his proposed wall on the Mexican border and changes to 2 legal immigration programs. The Senate, I'm going to scroll this up a bit, here we go, is scrambling to look for a short-term solution that would extend DACA for another 2 or 3 years while a new immigration deal can be worked out. The nearly 800,000 people who did get DACA status at some point will be allowed to apply for renewal, although the bulk of the applications is expected to create lapses in coverage for certain beneficiaries. For some that will remain, losing their work permits and, if employed, their jobs, at least temporarily. The Justice Department's request to change the lower court ruling was rare in that it asked the Supreme Court to jump ahead of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in reviewing the case, which doesn't happen often. The court typically will only bypass an appellate court when there's an emergency involving foreign affairs, a serious separation of powers concerns, or when it has already agreed to hear another case dealing with the same question. So that is the first one.
And another Supreme Court ruling came out on immigration. Supreme Court rules immigrants can be detained indefinitely. Mm-hmm. Immigrants can be held by U.S. immigration officials indefinitely without receiving any bond hearings. Even if they have permanent legal status or are seeking asylum, the Supreme Court ruled Tuesday in a 5-3 decision with Justice Elena Kagan, who recused herself, which means she didn't want to vote. The court ruled that immigrants did not have the right to periodic bond hearings. The ruling is a defeat for immigration advocates who argued that immigrants should not be held for more than 6 months at a time without such a hearing. The Supreme Court ruling follows a Trump administration appeal of a ruling by the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals last year that opposed a rule requiring immigrants held in custody to be given a bond hearing every 6 months, as long as they weren't considered a flight risk or a danger to national security. The ruling states that the government has the right to detain immigrants while the government determines if they are allowed into the country or not. The lead plaintiff in the class action lawsuit, Alejandro Rodriguez, did I do that right?
Yeah.
Yes! Is an immigrant with permanent legal status who was convicted of possession of a controlled substance and joyriding. He was detained by immigration officials for 3 years without a bond hearing.
Okay. First of all, when you're an illegal alien, that means you are not a citizen of the United States naturalized through our immigration service. That means you are not privy to being subject to our laws. In other words, you don't have any rights in this country because you've already broken one being here illegally.
Yep, you trespassing.
Yeah, you're trespassing. Dade Murphy, the SCOTUS has no reason to deal with this. If they did, it would backfire and give too much power to Trump or any future POTUS, which is a bad thing not to have that balance of power.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I mean, you have to maintain that balance of power. The problem is, in this current political climate, we have people that are conflating illegal alien and immigrant. An immigrant is somebody that comes here seeking citizenship legally. An illegal alien is someone who crosses the border illegally. Illegally meaning without a work visa or has let that visa expire, a student visa or a student visa that has expired and they haven't renewed it.
And let's not forget, this only affects 800,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
That's a drop in the pond for the U.S. population.
Well, I mean, there are more than 800,000 illegal aliens, and so so to detain them indefinitely, in other words, not giving them a speedy trial, makes sense because they're not American citizens, so they don't have access to that Bill of Rights.
Miss T says, finally, they're going to get treated like the criminals that they are. Yes, they are.
Yep, I completely freaking agree. I completely agree. They should be. Dade, illegals have never had legal rights that Americans share. We can do whatever the fuck we want. Yes, the problem is with, like I said, the Democrats and the bleeding heart liberals, as I like to call them, want to give illegal aliens rights without making them citizens.
And can we guess why? One reason only. Voting block.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are Democrat voters waiting to happen.
Yep, exactly.
And, Dade, I have to agree with you. Well, people are retarded. What can I say? Well, you can't really say anything because it's partly true.
Yeah. Mitch the Ripper, they flooded in from Dimension X. I mean, I would like to try and see this from a bleeding liberal heart's point of view because some of these are, to be fair, some of these illegal aliens are here because they're fleeing war-torn countries like San Salvador, corrupt governments like Mexico and the like. But the thing is, they can ask for asylum, and it will be given to them. Yes, there is a waiting period for asylum and to become a naturalized citizen of the United States. But if you really want to be a part of the United States, and if you really want to be an American, going the legal route should be something you need to be looked into. Because
Congress, I just want to say real quick, in Congress, because they need to work on the whole the becoming a citizen thing. Streamline that so people don't have to wait 10 years to become a citizen.
Yep, that's called asylum. Even refugees can enter a country legally, the Batman. Exactly, that's called asking for asylum. If you want to be a refugee, there's always asylum that you can ask for, and you will receive it either at the Embassy of the United States or as you cross the border asking for asylum and you're coming from one of these war-torn countries. I mean, our country has no problem giving you asylum or helping you become a citizen, but you have to do it the legal way.
Right.
You know, he does that. The Batman does that on purpose. White Sith male, because yep, new Latinx furniture polish, a Hillsdale brand. So here we go. Next story on the docket: West Virginia governor announces deal to end teachers' strike.
Before you read, all I'm going to say is I am so pissed about this article.
After I read it, you can rant.
Thank you.
The West Virginia's governor said Tuesday that teachers and educators will get a 5% pay raise and that striking teachers will return to work on Thursday. He also said that all other state employees would get a 3% raise this year. The deal came on the fourth day of a strike by West Virginia teachers, and thousands of people again descended on the state capitol to protest poor wages. The 4-day strike had left more than 250,000 students out of class in the 55 counties across the state, rattling some officials. In 2016, the average salary for West Virginia teachers ranked 48th in the nation, according to data compiled by the National Education Association, or NEA. The organizers of the protests have said many teachers are forced to take second jobs just to make ends meet, This new legislation has been sharply criticized by teachers' unions and their members who say the pay increases are too stingy. The raises, they say, would not cover cost of living spikes and the rising cost of health care. The proposed raise doesn't even keep us up with other states, said Dale Lee, the president of the West Virginia Education Association. Governor Jim Justice credited a sixth grader with helping to change his thinking on the issue. He said he was explaining tourist investment to the boy on Monday, and the child said, "Wouldn't it be an investment to invest in smart teachers that would make me smart? And then I could, in turn around and do smart things for our state." He's right, and to be perfectly honest, in a lot of ways, I was looking at this maybe not correctly, Justice said. The governor said he went home, and I thought a lot about it. Now, there was a little screen cap that Merlin found, and on the screen now is where the state ranks in health care, education, economy, opportunity, infrastructure, crime and corrections, fiscal stability, and quality of life.
And if you look at the numbers, guess where they are? They're near 50th in the country.
Morning, Thorne.
They were complaining about healthcare. Healthcare is 44th ranked in the country. Education is 45th. Economy, 49th place. So what does that tell you? Quality of life, 45th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
These teachers and the teachers union got too much because there's other people. I feel for them. I do. It sucks. The problem is, though, is when you compare it to other people who are struggling with 2 or 3 jobs, where's their 5% raise? The state is in trouble, and you have the teachers union bending the government over just to get more money for themselves, screw everyone else. That's what that's why I did this chart here, to show that West Virginia is in no position right now to give extra money to teachers.
Yeah, none whatsoever.
I mean, West Virginia sucks. It sucked ever since the coal industry went south.
Mm-hmm. Morning, conservative Californian.
And thank you, conservative California. Teachers unions take child education. They held 55,000 children hostage from getting an education.
Yeah, I mean,
and this also means at the end of the school year, they gotta make up those 3 days because of those teachers.
Miss T, I can't care about teachers anymore. I homeschool because teachers don't want to do their jobs, and just want to piss mountain. And I agree with that, because to me, and I've said this on other streams, I want them to open the books. I want to see where all the taxes we're paying for education at the state, local, and federal level are going. I want a breakdown of these books. I want an accounting. I want to see their accounting and where this money's going. Because I think the money is going more towards the boards and the superintendents and the people that don't have daily interactions with the students than they are with the teachers.
And another thing they're not considering is that, guess who pays for the raises? The taxpayer. Taxpayers already pay enough taxes in West Virginia.
Yeah. I mean, it's not only that, it's you've got the problem with Common Core. Okay, that's another thing. Teachers have always been underpaid. Let's be realistic. Teachers, no matter what the state, have always been underpaid. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
The teachers union stands in the way of what could probably be a really good model for the education system, and I'm looking toward Europe for this, because a lot of countries in Europe have a voucher system. If you don't like the way your child is being taught, you can take your child out of that school and put the child in another school. And the money that is allocated to that child goes to that other school and that teacher that you have chosen to teach your child. Yes, it makes education competitive, true, but it would also give a chance to increase the quality of education your child is getting when teachers actually have to teach to keep students in the classroom and to, lower that fail rate or the dropout rate in schools.
Yeah, and the NEA, they refuse to bring it to the table. Mm-hmm. Parents have asked for this. For years, parents asked for vouchers. But the NEA won't budge on it. And no one's helping them.
That's because, if you look at it, if the vouchers were to be implemented, there is no more negotiating with school boards from the part of the union. The union would be rendered ineffective because it comes down to the parents' decision as to where they want their child to go to school and where that money is going.
Hey, Thorn Midnight.
And so, that would effectively render the union useless.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because what are you going to do? Pull every parent from every student into a coliseum as a union and try and negotiate? For what? Because the response from the parents at this point is going to be, well, teacher X is not teaching my child the way that I feel that my child should be taught. That is why I took the child out of that school and put it in this one, because this one is supposed to have a better rating than school A, and that's why I did it, and you're not going to make me change my mind.
And these parents and everyone else in West Virginia now, think about that. Most of them are rolling their eyes like, and where's that 5% going to go from? I'm working 2 jobs, trying to stay alive, and the teachers say they're doing the same, but yet they get the raise and I don't. I get screwed. Right.
Shy Wolf, nice, state level tests and higher the score, the higher the teachers pay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep, I would go for that.
Hi, Callie. But it's like I said.
Hey, Callie.
Vouchers make more sense.
Yes.
Okay?
I agree.
And even though some people would argue that makes education competitive, well, how do you compete as a teacher to keep the students in the classroom? Teach the kids.
Didn't George Bush want to do that at one point?
George Bush wanted to do that. He proposed it, and what came out of everything was No Child. The original program for No Child Left Behind was not the contorted version that actually came out of Congress. No Child Left Behind was supposed to be a program that offered free tutoring and after-school tutoring programs for children who couldn't keep up with the curriculum, who weren't getting the subject matter. That was it. That's all No Child Left Behind was supposed to be. And it was contorted, twisted, and turned inside out into something that became absolutely horrid.
And it went well with Common Core.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, we got a lot of comments on this.
Oh, yeah, we do. Thorn, they should let teachers decide curriculum, keep politicians out of it. Common Core and No Child Left Behind were both shit. Well, No Child Left Behind became shit.
Yeah.
Let's see, here to make homeschool... People are working hard here to make homeschool illegal. Yeah, some are. Thorn, social interaction. Okay, let me bust this myth. Let me bust this myth right now, Thorn. Homeschooled children, for the most part, are not sequestered, they're not living in a bubble, and they are not denied social interaction. There are homeschool coalitions out there and homeschool cooperatives that people can take their homeschooled children to for that social interaction that they need. There are also homeschooling extracurricular programs and sports that the children can be enrolled for competitive purposes and for sports and to get their physical
physical education.
Thank you. To get their physical education. My brain farted. So
that's all right.
Homeschooled kids are not as a whole sequestered from society. A lot of them do social interactions.
And some states will allow homeschool kids to play on their nearest high school sports teams.
Yeah.
So I think it's a win because public education it's horrible.
Yeah,
it's horrible.
Thorne says, Maddie, I was responding to Sis saying he was denied social interaction. Okay. Conservative California, I think it would benefit the low-income communities by establishing vocational schools so that they may gain experience and some useful skills and make them feel like they have a purpose in the world.
And that's what Trump wants.
Yeah.
And that's what Trump at a State Union addressed. He said we need to look more into vocational schools to give people a chance to work, to, be a normal person and not suck off the teat of the government.
Yeah. Callie's like, why isn't anyone doing anything for homeless children? I never hear about homeless kids, just oppressed women. Because, the feminists have their agenda to push and they really don't care about kids.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. That's the reason why. Neil, I'm 28 and social interaction was garbage back when I was in school, so I wouldn't say it's just now. Yeah. I mean, you have all sorts of interactions in schools, and a lot of them are not great. All right, let's see. The next story is...
Ha!
There you go.
Yay! Ha! You guys, you guys ready for some comedy?
Here we go.
Of course, it's about Russia. U.S. intelligence. Russia compromised 7 states prior to the 2016 election.
Yep.
The U.S. Intelligence Committee developed substantial evidence that state websites or voter registration systems in 7 states were compromised by Russian-backed covert operatives prior to the 2016 election, but never told the states involved, according to multiple U.S. officials. You starting to see a problem already?
Oh. Wait a minute. Hold on. What was your question again, Shy Wolf? Because we missed her question.
Oh,
here we go. Mad Woman, how quickly would Fields lessons be tossed out if test scores equaled pay? Oh, quickly. Quick as shit. Morning. Oh, wait a minute. We have a newbie. Yay. Randy Raccoon. Welcome, Randy Raccoon. Pull up a chair in your favorite morning brew. We're still going through the news and discussions. All right, go ahead and continue.
Okay. So, I was at... Oh, yeah, but never told the states involved, according to the multiple U.S. officials. The top-secret intelligence requested by President Barack Obama in his last weeks in office identified some states where analysts had reason to... Analysts. Ugh. Blah.
It's all right.
Not enough coffee. I'm sorry, people. Analysts had reason to believe the Russian operatives had compromised state websites or databases. It is believed the states were Alaska, Arizona, California, Florida, Illinois, Texas, and Wisconsin. U.S. intelligence officials reached out to these states before the election that foreign entities were probing their systems. None were told that the Russian government was behind it. They left that out.
Yeah. Officials
agreed that no votes were changed and no voters were taken off the rolls. I should repeat that, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Officials agreed that no votes were changed and no voters were taken off the rolls. To this day, 6 of the 7 states deny that they were breached based on their own cyber investigations. It's a discrepancy that underscores how unprepared some experts think America is for the next wave of Russian interference that intelligence officers say is coming. Oh, so Russia's coming back? Really? Okay.
Yeah.
8 months after the assessment in September 2017, the Russian administration, Department of Homeland Security, finally contacted election officials in all 50 states. 8 months, people, to tell them whether or not their systems have been targeted. It told 21 states they had been targeted, and U.S. officials acknowledged that some of those attempts had been successful. The Trump Department of Homeland Security, like under the Obama administration, has declined to share the intelligence assessments of which states were actually compromised, according to state election officials. Then top election officials from all 50 states met in Washington for a National Association of Secretaries of State conference and received temporary security clearances for a classified threat briefing from intelligence officials. According to 2 officials present, one from the intelligence of the state conference, and one from the intelligence community and another from a state official, the actual intelligence on state compromises was not shared. Illinois was the only state that had detected a malicious cyber attack on its voters' registration system in the summer of 2016, and reported to the Department of Homeland Security saying its voter rolls had been accessed, but nothing had been altered. It is the only state to acknowledge actual compromise. Bradley Moss, a lawyer specializing in national security, tried to lift the veil and find out what U.S. intelligence knew about the Russian attempts to compromise the voters' system. He sued for disclosure of government files and won last week, receiving 118 secret top pages from the intelligence community. The pages referred to compromises and other breaches, but the pages were completely blacked out.
Redacted!
Redacted! Nearly 16 months after the presidential election and more than 8 months before critical midterms, many state and federal officials are convinced the Russians will be back. They're concerned that 2016 was laying the groundwork for a possible future attack.
You know, right now, the Russian trolls remind me of that whack-a-mole game they keep popping up. They just
I
keep...
mean, I mean, come on, people. You've been hacked, but we're not telling you by who.
Right.
We can't tell you. It's top secret.
I
We'll
know.
give you this page, though. It's all blacked out.
Right? Redacted. Oh, the hell I'm back.
Redaction. Oh, my goodness, people. This is... and people are going to take this seriously. Like, yeah, they warned them. Did you see that?
Yeah.
America was on it.
Yeah. Neil, Russia. It the boogeyman to justify deleting all conservatives from social media. The midterms are coming. Expect mass purges and shadow bans from Neil.
It's probably going to be true.
Probably.
You're a Russian bot.
Oh.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, they're always going... From now on, whenever we have another story about Russians, I'm going to say it's whack-a-mole time.
Okay.
Because every time we think it's kind of died down and gotten quiet a bit, they pop back up again somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, if you look through the story, it took them 8 months to finally tell all the states that they've been hacked or not. Yeah. And then you invite all the state officials from around the country so you can tell them that, well, we can't tell you. Yeah.
Diz, you almost think the Cold War never happened and this was all news. Oh my God. Okay, the last story.
Hold on, Miss T has something serious to say. She said,
okay.
My son had a nightmare last night after the stream. I blame the Russians.
Batman, maybe you should call it Putin poking.
I stubbed my toe and broke a nail. It was Russia, according to Shy Wolf.
Conservative Californian. We have a homeless problem in Cali. It must be the Russians.
At this rate, we might as well blame Russia for everything.
Instead of Canada. Blame the Russians! Blame the Russians!
Green Badger, everyone that disagrees with me, is a Russian bot.
Right?
Oh my goodness.
Did you walk into your kitchen this morning and find out that you were out of creamer for your coffee? Blame the Russians!
Russians did it. Hold on. Oh, Maddie, look! Hold on a minute. I got him.
Got him. All right, cool. Morning, Michaela. Well, you're in time for the last news story right before we get to the shout-out, sweetie, so you made it. Let's see. He disarmed a possible church shooter. Then the police arrived.
Oh, God.
That sounds so ominous. On the morning of February 14th, the same day as the Florida mass school shooting, Garces wrestled a handgun away from a man who had entered a chapel at Faith City Mission, Texas, and threatened to hold church attendees hostage. But a responding officer fired at Garces, striking him twice, once in the back and once above his collarbone. His lawyer, Jeff Blackburn, said in an interview, I don't know how that punctured a lung, but it did. Then on Monday, Garces, 54, was admitted to the emergency room at Hart Hospital of Northwest Texas with a blood clot in his lung. Yeah, in a February 14th statement that the Amarillo, as people say, Sheriff's Department confirmed in an initial investigation determined that police fired at a man who disarmed a would-be hostage taker in a church with 100 people in its chapel. That suspect was identified as Joshua Len Jones, 35, was booked on 6 charges of aggravated kidnapping. Yet the department did not say why an officer fired at Garces, only that it was investigating the accident. Morning, numbskull.
Like, thank you?
How the hell are all the police becoming incompetent? I've got no clue.
Like, really? You have a hero here.
Yeah.
A hero, and you go away like, oh, let's shoot him.
Yeah. Let's see, we had one up here. Scroll up. Somebody said something about someone ate the last Pop-Tart. It was a Russian. I love my chat.
Yeah, this chat's awesome. Thor Midnight goes, bullets often do weird things when it enters a body. Yes, it does. Could have bounced off a bone, which is true.
Yeah. Canada exists. I blame the Russians. Batman. Shy Wolf. Russia roulette. Rules are, number 1, Russia did it. Number 2, repeat step 1. Oh my gosh.
And now this poor guy, a hero, and he gets shot down like a dog.
Yeah, that's...
And you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's the way they train the cops now.
Yeah.
They're not training them to use their brains. They're training them to react first, and then ask questions.
Yep. Morning,
and
Lou.
Hey, Lou. And that has led to more shootings of innocent people than ever before in history.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to be trained to de-escalate a situation, not go in guns blazing. This isn't the Wild West anymore.
Right. Those days are kind of over.
Yeah.
Can I poke in? Like,
Hey, Lou.
Hey, Lou.
hi. I was gonna say, can I have a word on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, because my thought process is always like, okay, their first reaction would be to, in that situation, if they have somebody they know who's armed, they're not going to think of, oh, is this guy helping de-escalate the situation? It's more of a split-second reaction as to whether or not you're going to shoot this guy or this guy's going to shoot you.
Yeah, but they also have to take into consideration, A, where the finger is on the gun, because if he just finished disarming the guy, I doubt this person has had the finger in the trigger.
That too, but it's like split-second reaction too, I guess.
When I was in the Army, I was military police, and Lou, they train you how to react when you go into a situation. I mean, we practice this over and over and over again. Because once you go into that room, you have to access right away what's going on, and then make your decision in a split second. This cop sounds like he went in there, just shot whoever had a gun, just shot him, and then that was it.
Thank you for the 20 people watching the newscast this morning.
Oh, wow. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Merlin, it isn't your newscast. Shush.
Yes,
Hey,
it is.
I'm a
It's
co-host.
our newscast. He's a co-host.
Exactly.
Okay.
Merlin lives matter, man. Merlin lives.
That means
Merlin lives matter. Well, not to me, bitch.
guess what, Lou? I have a piece of you now.
Yep.
Excuse me? Excuse you.
Oh, bless you.
Excuse you. That is several layers of uncomfortableness I don't need in my day.
Ah.
Well, I mean, it's when it comes to police officers and training, we're all, the first thing we tend to emphasize is this isn't all police officers.
Right.
Okay, there are police officers. There are police officers out there that will do everything they can to de-escalate a situation. We're not talking about those police officers. We're talking about police officers that have hair trigger responses to situations.
Or officers that hide while somebody's shooting up a school.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, there are several different... I mean, we're not denying that there are problems inherent in the system, in the law enforcement system, as far as training and reaction to situations are concerned. We're not saying that. There are. You've got that thin blue line, as everybody likes to, say. More. Good afternoon, tailed feature. That thin blue line is a very, very thin line.
Yes, it is.
Neil, nowadays police who de-escalate are reprimanded. And if that is true, then they should do something about that. Because I would like to see police officers de-escalate a situation more than I would like to see them shoot first and ask questions later. Because they should be the last group of people to shoot first and ask questions later.
And one of the first things you learn is the level of force that you can use. When you reach for your gun, that is the lowest right on this list that you go through everything else through your mind. That is like the least thing you should be worried about. But once you grab that gun, you're taught then you're gonna have to fire that gun, and then you want that person dead.
Yeah.
Well, then of course the problem is like how fast that reaction is going to be as well. You need to train somebody to have that be a reasonable, rational reaction, but also a split-second one.
Yeah.
So that's going to be difficult. You're not going to have many people that are going to be able to do that.
And that's why they're supposed to be training. You're always.
I know, and they don't. That's the big fucking
that's
problem.
The problem. Yeah. I know when I was.
We have Randy Raccoon in the chat. Excuse me, I didn't mean to interrupt. The problem
Hey,
is,
Randy.
Yep, he says the problem is that the police training is shit. They get a tiny bit of training, then mistakenly think they are an expert. They are not. My father was a cop my entire life, very well trained, an actual expert in firearms. Sorry, Michaela. Lou is an exception this morning because normally it's just Merlin and me. We usually don't let anybody else into the chat.
I'm sorry. I'm a noob. I poked my head in. I try to keep my damn mouth shut, but I can't.
It's okay, Lou. It's okay.
Maddy tolerates me extremely. I am very, very sorry for everybody in the chat.
I mean,
It's okay, Lou.
Yeah.
It's okay.
And see, there are other factors to consider as well. You've got, Black Lives Matter pushing their agenda.
Yep.
And that is a very anti-cop agenda that already has the police walking that tightrope.
And Black Lives Matter was started by a terrorist.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, there are some people, I mean, especially, with all the false narratives being spun about most of the cases involving police shootings, and I said most, hashtag not all, most.
Right.
You did have some people calling for an open season on police officers.
Yes.
Okay, police officers don't have the easiest job in the world to begin with. Okay? They are one of the few occupations that when they get up in the morning and they put on their uniform and they go to work, there's a damn good chance they're not going to make it home again to take off that uniform from work.
And the media loves to push cop hate. Mm-hmm. They really want to push to hate cops. None of them have served a day in their life. They don't know what it's like to, live your life day by day, not knowing if this next call is going to be the one that's going to finish you off.
Yeah.
They don't think of any of that. They think a cop just goes around shooting things and uses their white privilege and everything else. No. They do a lot more that we don't see every day.
Yeah.
And then Randy Raccoon says in the chat, no, cops do not have an easy job, but it's no excuse for being.
No, I didn't say it was.
Yeah. I mean, training is still needed, and that's the problem. The lack thereof.
Yeah, they need more intense training. I think we can all agree that they need more intense training. And they need more of a support system if they happen to have to shoot someone. Because that does affect you.
And also, I think sheriff departments and all these police departments have to look on their training requirements. And I think they're going to have to figure out what to do because it's not working.
It's not.
Jason Todd has arrived, finally.
We now have 23 people watching. Thank you for those extra 3 people. Good afternoon, Jason. I hope you got the crowbar out of your head. Good morning, numbskull. Running joke. We got to do the running joke.
Running joke.
I mean, it's no excuse. I mean, the whole training program for the police needs to be overhauled.
Yes, it does.
And it's hard for me to say this because most of the people in the chat know that I'm the daughter of a brother, a Vietnam veteran. And there are a lot of ex-military, morning Malachite, that go into police work.
Hey, Malachite.
And I think during whatever training the ex-military goes through in order to be a policeman, they should also go through a psych evaluation, especially if they've seen combat.
Yeah, which police departments, when I was shopping around to be a police officer, which I never became, psych eval is one of the first things they would give you.
Yeah.
So, police, in my opinion, don't need more training right now. The media needs to start pushing anti-cop propaganda. After that, the police will be able to calm down. Yep. The media is definitely a big part to blame in all this.
Yeah.
The question then is, how the hell is that actually going to happen? How is the media going to stop doing that? And that's probably, if everybody stops watching them, which the likelihood of that happening is...
Slim to none.
No.
Yeah.
No,
much as I hate it, no!
Yeah.
But that's where shows like ours come in.
Yeah.
We have to fill the void of showing the truth, unlike the media.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the next segment. Here we go. And yep, the next segment is our shout out. So let me get this thing up. Yay! First one this morning is on Dire Wolf's channel. The title of the video is J.J. Abrams' Star Wars interview. Critics must hate women, where they talk about and respond to a J.J. Abrams article about The Last Jedi, and, how he is alluding that the media doesn't like, that critics must hate women because they didn't like the Ghostbusters the Ghostbusters mess, The Last Jedi, or anything else where they pushed a marriage. Let's face it, they didn't
Last
push...
Jedi was the worst movie ever.
Yeah.
Who and you, Mr. Abrams?
Yeah, well, my whole thing is, no, critics don't hate women. Critics hate it when you take a story that could be good, that has potential to be good, and instead of having a solid hero's journey story, you put in a Mary Sue.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay?
For lack of a better term, it's a Mary Sue, yes.
Yeah. That's why I nicknamed The Last Jedi Star Wars The Last Mary Sue.
Pretty much, because the whole franchise, the last 3 movies were nothing but social justice warrior propaganda.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Mitch. J.J. Abrams is Latin for hack franchise killer.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Look what he did to Star Trek.
Oh God, yes! Look what he did for Star Trek. Okay, the next video is from Persephone 66. I've been humbled. Persephone goes through what happened during their interview process when they were interviewing for a welder position, and how they got told they still needed experience with welding other materials and stuff, and the decision that she's made in order to go back to welding school. Or go to welding school. So that is a really good short video to watch. It's more like vlog styles, not usual intro or whatever. It's just her talking to the camera and telling you how her interview went. Yeah.
I hope she gets her. I hope she does it.
Me too. Next one is Stacy King. Why MGTOW are wrong about stay-at-home moms. Response to Coltane. Her response is raw, unfettered, and she calls bullshit literally. Bullshit in the video. I absolutely love this video.
Awesome.
Okay,
I love it. I love it. I love that.
One of the reasons that she calls major bullshit is because he's saying that introducing a woman to the home does not increase your expenditures.
That's right.
I think the opposite is true, actually.
Oh yeah, it does.
Oh,
I mean, when you're living by yourself and all of a sudden you get a roommate, whether that roommate be same sex and, not romantically involved, just your basic run-of-the-mill roommate, or you move your significant other in, you're going to have more expenses because your utilities are going to go up, your food bill's going to go up. There are other expenses inherent in having that other person in the house.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the case with anybody. You add anybody to your house, you're gonna have more expenses.
I mean,
Goddess Bree. Hey, I'm an expensive whore, so it damn well better cost him more.
Oh, dear Lord. Hi, Bree. Hi, Mom.
it even goes for a pet, as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You bring a pet in the house, your expenses are going to start going up.
Yeah, exactly. And the last video is The Odd One Is Out, about buying clothes, where he buys his clothes, and why you shouldn't give a shit about anybody's opinion about the clothes you buy. So really,
damn right.
I love The Odd One Is Out because he has, he does animate, which means it takes him a little bit longer to turn out videos than most people. So please go over there and give him support. Watch the video, like the video, share it out, because the algorithm is not kind to people who do animated videos. Because they can't turn the comment out. That's because they can't turn the content out as fast as people doing live streams or regular commentary videos.
Yeah, it's like they get punished.
Yeah, because, I mean, let's face it. When you animate something, it's not, you talk and it's automatically animated. You have got to do a lot of work for 30 seconds worth of an animation frame.
By the way, Batman says pets are way cheaper than a woman, which is true. Shy Wolf, I'm a cheap pet, though. I pay my own way. Even make sandwiches. I want her.
Okay, now we know
sandwiches.
We know what it's time for, right?
Oh God, is it really that time already?
It's that time already.
All right, let's.
Wait, cancer?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm not gonna stand here and listen to this baloney.
He won't, He doesn't stand for baloney.
This is me and Kelly's go time.
Yep, here we go. Technology is building a future without people of color in mind. That is the cancer of the morning.
But of course. But of course.
But of course. And so this is Richard Prince. Oh God, it's a black dude. I'm gonna have to bring out the evangelist voice. Let me take a sip of coffee and see what I can come up with here.
Get yourself in frame here.
Yep. Okay, here we go.
And here we go, people.
It is time to recast World of Decision-Making Machines. First, the futurist Amy Webb told the audience of journalists, librarians, and foundation managers that they would have easily been duped by the ever-growing purveyors of artificial intelligence. Images!
Say it ain't so.
I know, right? Images of their faces can be affixed to others' bodies, their voices to imposters. Media people have acknowledged the pollsters that they are so focused on the present and they don't pay close attention to what might be in store for them in 5, 10, or 20 years. Later. What?
The British woman is back.
I know, it's trying to sneak in. It's trying to sneak in. Later, in her work, Wednesday, before the Night Media Forum in Miami, Webb told people of color that they weren't thought about when the creators of self-driving cars, GPS navigators, robotics, and other such technologies were being developed.
No!
No! My question is, what does all this mean for communities of color? Asked Sarah Lomax Reese, president and CEO of Black Talk, formatted word radio in Philadelphia. She was one of about 400 of the sold-out conference sponsored by the John S. and James L. Knight Foundation.
Oh my god, this is too stressful. I'm startled.
Goddess Brazeal Shopton style talking by Maddy. I try. This is one of the hardest voices for me. Holy crap. It is not good, Webb replied. Any person of color who's ever felt invisible, you're totally invisible to networks, right? Said the author of the 2016 book, The Signals Are Talking. Why today's fringe is tomorrow's mainstream. Forecast and take action on tomorrow's trends today. It's a whole fucking paragraph for a title.
What?
That's what I was gonna say. Holy crap!
Hold on, it doesn't make sense. Okay, the signals are talking. Okay. Why today's fringe is tomorrow's mainstream. Cut it. Instead it's I
said, a whole paragraph for a title.
They could have had, like, the second part of that title after, like, the second semicolon or colon or whatever. They could have had that for, like, a little caption at the bottom of the thing.
Yeah.
For the author or some shit. What?
Right? Listen, I could spend an entire day showing you examples of all kinds of places in which machine learning algorithms don't recognize DACA faces, where if you are a non-native English speaker, it's difficult for you to be understood.
Turn the light on.
Turn the light on. Morning, Evil Gunny.
Evil Gunny.
One of the primary data sets that was used to train a lot of the voice recognition systems came from Philadelphia from the 1990s. There was a series of, I think... This is why the voice is hard, because it always tickles the back of my throat.
If you need me to jump in, I'll try.
Actually, this is a female talking, so I've got to do that one voice nobody wants to hear.
Okay.
One of the primary data sets that was used to train a lot of the voice recognition systems came from Philadelphia from the 1990s. There was a series of, I think, 700 recoded phone calls. If you think of some of these systems as a sort of layered and each new set of experiments and tools built on what came before, some of them foundations of some of our modern spoken interfaces come from Philadelphia, but it didn't come from people. It came from, like, white people in Philly. So white people aren't people? White people aren't people?
My brain. My brain hurts.
Your brain. Sorry, but whenever there's an SJW, I gotta do it.
Whenever there's whenever they use like in the Valley Girl kind of way in an article and they quote it, I want to scream. I just remember my English composition class, and I'm sitting there like, please,
right?
Even if it's the actual quote, don't do that.
Right? Exactly. Like, this person is woefully ignorant.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do a couple more paragraphs, then I'm gonna be done.
Okay. We could do this.
I can do this. Martin G. Reynolds, co-executor of the Maynard Institute for Journalism Education, follows up. All this work around having a greater pipeline so that there's more diversity in news organizations so that the work is done better reflects society. How does this come to play in this new world you're speaking of? He asked. So the answer I'm going to give you is the same answer that I am going to give you. The fuck?
What? What?
I'm gonna need chemo after this shit.
Yes, right? Webb said, looking at Lomax Reese, about diversification in technology. We all have to decide that it's okay for things to be different going forward. And if part of how we got to now is the, I'm not going to apologize for saying it, old white boys club, we're talking about machines making decisions for us. I don't know if I want such a small group of people making decisions for us all. I think we all have to stop and think this through. We've all decided, if we've all decided that we're heading in a direction that we're uncomfortable with, then there are some easy changes to make. Hire more, create a situation where a person of color can become an executive. Anybody, Oprah. Anybody know off the top of their head how many female editors and chief of newspapers we currently have? No? Any idea of how many male, how many black or Asian or Hispanic editors in chief?
No, I don't. I don't know their fucking names.
Do we know? Well, we're supposed to have like a tattooed on our arm when we come in. Yeah, hold on. Let me look under the black category. Oh, it's this person.
You gotta squint. Because it's in such fine print that they had to use the smallest needle they had.
But by the way, Maddie, Batman goes, I didn't know Maddie could channel J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, God. Y'all gotta do is lower my voice to make it raspy, apparently.
Oh, hey, Dad.
We can turn on the diversity tab. We just have to decide that we want to do that and create the mechanisms for people to actually move up the ladder. But that's a decision we've got to get comfortable with. We've got to get more comfortable being around people with different ideas. If we don't get comfortable with that, we end up in these catastrophic places. Oh, my God, that's a big word for an SJW. That's more than 2 syllables. That's more than 2 syllables. Holy shit. And I don't want to live in that world. Jesus Christ.
Sounds like Cameron Diaz doing a bad impression of a Valley girl.
Right?
Hey, Lou, can you just put me out of my misery, please?
Morning, Ronan.
Sure. I mean, I have my grandpa's old shotgun in the basement somewhere. I could probably figure it out.
Okay, first of all, and I'm going to stop it there because it just goes on and on and on. First of all, you cannot have diversity in the STEM fields if there aren't enough, minorities getting degrees in the STEM field. Yes, it does. Well, they can talk a lot about shit.
Oh my goodness, that went on and on and on.
Oh my gosh, Batman.
Let's point out that this was filed into futurism and racism.
Of course it was.
Yeah, Valley girl to me. Oh, Lord.
I might have to go get another brain scan after this article.
Michaela says, Lou, you are not allowed to shoot anyone. I forbid it. No, I am allowed to shoot everyone except myself. Somebody else has to do that for me.
Yep.
I'll do it.
All right, here we go. And the final thing for the day before I go into the live stream announcements is these are the humble bundles. The Brawler bundle is pay what you want. There are 7 games at $149 value. Over 32,000 of these have been sold. You got 13 days to claim them. The games in here are Guilty Gear 20, Blaze Blue, Continuum Shift Extend, Skullgirls, Arcana Heart 3, and Street Fighter 10 Tekken. Those are the games that are in that particular bundle. For those of you that like to read, this is another games bundle. This bundle is worth $234. It's got 10 games in it. And I think this was the one that I was like, 6 days left. Yeah, this is the one where I was going, Broken Sword 5, The Serpent's Course, Shadowrun Returns, Tesla Effect, Shadowrun Dragonfall, Shadowrun Hong Kong, Wasteland 2, Age of Wonders 3, Xenonauts. And those are the games in the second bundle. So, let me see here. The next bundle further down is for, sooner or later I'm going to ask them for an affiliate link because I keep shouting these out.
Hold on. Moose Cow.
Oh.
Moose Cow.
Lopez.
Yeah.
Lopez.
Right?
Moose Cow.
All right, so we've got those 2 for the games bundle. We've got a CCP publisher sale. Get 50% off EVE Online games in our store.
Nice.
For those of you that like EVE. Here's a books bundle. 15 books, $524 value. Make 2D RPG in a weekend, Online Game Pioneers. Pro HTML5 games. Everything about Game Maker Studios, beginning making RPG makers and stuff like that for digital, and how to make Android games for beginners.
Hey, Maddie. Hey, Maddie. Randy Raccoon, you blew his mind. He's still talking about the last idiotic article, he says.
Yeah, he's like, that kind of person puts me in a crushing mood.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Eee.
The humble
a lot
bundle,
of good deals.
the monthly bundle is 10% off of both. Let me see. This is the monthly one: Dark Souls 3 and Dark Souls 3 Ashes of Erlindel. So
cool.
Those are your bundles.
Yeah.
Go check those out. The link to the Humble Bundle store is down below. And now for the live stream announcements, which we always end this show on.
Oh, Panini said that bundle is mine.
Yeah.
Batman,
so
no,
I am not doing the Valley Girl again.
No.
I'm done with the
No,
game.
Batman.
The coolest thing, though, about Humble Bundle,
Yeah.
like, for me, it's like, however much you pay for each one, you get that tier and then the tier below it.
Yeah.
Is the coolest thing about it. So you, like, pay $5 and then you get the $5 and the $1, for example.
That is really cool.
And you pay all 20, you get everything that's below it.
All right, now live streams for the day again, and we're going to do this until we help them grow their channels. Suit's streaming channel and Sinatra's second streaming channel at the top of the list. The Kumite is probably starting its talk. They usually start their stuff at 11, and God knows how long they run. At 2 p.m. At 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Reading Wren has her Wrenilations Chill stream. Ghost Poo Channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Drunken Uncle's secondary channel is linked here, so please go there, like, and hit that bell, because his main channel was struck, so he can't stream, so he's streaming on this secondary channel that he has. And yes, he called it Drunken Pineapple. What do you expect from Drunken Uncle?
Yeah.
Grab your pizza and beer and head over to Jason Brazeal's channel at 8 p.m. Oh, you got a choice at 8 p.m. tonight. You can either grab pizza and beer and head over to Jason Brazeal's channel and chill out with the Hellcats, or at 8 p.m. you can trek on over to Twitch, where Penina plays Trying Not to Starve with Lou and myself.
Oh,
Hello!
So, yeah.
By the way,
It's hell on earth.
You're right.
Evil Gunny says, was a penguin with a rifle, now a rabbit with a butter knife. He
What
just
the hell are you smoking, and can you share?
He has been on about me ever since I became a penguin.
Penguin with rifle.
Let me see here. We also have Lords of the Night at 9 being hosted by Ranting Monkey, and we have Minions of the Zoo at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after the Lords of the Night stream. You can support this channel by going to the website linked below and giving either putting a tip in the tip jar, and since the tip actually goes to me, it is via PayPal. If you would like the tip to go to Merlin, my editor and co-host, please put that in the notes that you want that particular tip to go to Merlin, and I will make sure that he receives it.
I don't deserve it. Give it to Maddie.
There's also the link to the Patreon, and I'm going to be looking into Maker's Mark by the end of the week and seeing if I can add yet another way of supporting me there. But there are the ways to support the stream. There isn't any merch stores right now, or my handmade store, because I'm waiting after the move to get that in full swing. But I am going to go through Zazzle, and I am going to start reaching out to the artists that I highlight on my stream, because if they want to do designs for the store, how that's going to work is once that particular design is on sale in the Zazzle store, if they give me all their contact information, that contact information will go into the description section for those products. That way people can actually click on the artist link, and hopefully we can pass on some good fortune to the artists that are struggling right now on Twitter and YouTube because of the current algorithm and censorship changes
That would be
are
awesome.
going on. So
Yeah, that would be awesome if you could support them, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the way I'm running my Zazzle store. So if you do want to contribute designs, give me all of your contact information, and when I open the store, your contact information will be in the description. Because we have to, back up our artistic community.
Yes, we do. We have to give back.
Yep. And on that note, let me see. We have reached the end of the stream, unfortunately. We have been at it for over an hour, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
We did have some good discussions today. Thank you for contributing to the discussions in the chat. We always love talking with you guys.
Oh,
whether
yeah,
you agree
you-
with us or not.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, lively
You guys were
debates
awesome.
always wanted. You guys are awesome. Join us again tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning for another morning brew. But until then, may your coffee ever flow, my friends. May your caffeine be ever strong. And may you have a wonderfully wacky Wednesday. Take care, coffee nuts.
Bye.